Wow. Got the ZTK package with the ZR1 exclusive design. Biggest turbochargers ever. It's a secondary air intake. Look at these tires. 2 fuel injection systems. The most powerful production V8 in history. Hi, I'm Michael for CorvetteForum.com, and today we're at the LA Auto Show and we're checking out all 4 2025 C8 Corvette models. We've got the Stingray, we've got the E-Ray, the Z06, the ZR1. They've got a Cutaway as well as the LT7 motor. And so the purpose of today, there's no new news to report, but this is my first time seeing all 4 models together in one space. And so I thought it would be fun, like I did last year, to walk around all of them and show you how they all look in person and next to each other and talk about a few different specs and so forth. So let's dive in. First up, we have the base level Corvette, the Stingray as it's called. Can't believe that we're actually 5 model years into the Stingray. First debuted for the 2020 model year in 2019, of course. And what we're looking at here is a pretty well spec'd model. So it's a 3LT, which is the fanciest package you can get inside. So you've got heated and ventilated seats. You got the performance seats with visible carbon fiber. This, of course, is a coupe model, which has a removable roof. You've got carbon flash here on the mirrors and moldings, black wheels with a new design. Looking really good. Michelin Pilot Sport 4S summer tires that are also, I believe these are zero pressure run flats. This is the forged wheel option. So 245 35 ZR19s up front, and in the back we're up a size and wider, of course, as well. 305 30 ZR20s. This motor here is a 6.2 liter naturally aspirated V8. The LT2 is what it's called, making 495 peak horsepower with the performance exhaust. This is the Z51 spoiler here. And then there is the visible engine bay of this mid-engine, the first mid-engine Corvette in the history of the company, something that the engineers in the 50s and 60s wanted to do, and it kept getting shot down. See, we've got a couple little Easter eggs here too. You can see the team Corvette etched in the glass. And then I think if I go over here, oh yeah, and right here you can see the chief engineer. Let's see if we, yeah, there we go. There is, it's kind of hard to see because of the bubbles in the background. But yeah, there is Tadge right there, Tadge Easter. And so he's in the glass here, Team Corvette over there for all 2025 model years. He retired this summer, a few months before I'm recording this. And so now they're putting him on all the new models. Coming over here, we have the Corvette E-Ray. This actually debuted a few years after this one. It was actually the 3rd to debut. We'll get to the other 2 in a second. But I'm gonna cover this one, because they're right next to each other, and 2, because they share the same engine. So this one is a wide body version of the C8. It shares its dimensions with the other 2 back there. You've also got a different wishbone on the side here, but it also has the LT2 V8 making 495 horsepower out back. But what makes this one different is that this is the first all-wheel drive hybrid Corvette. And so it actually has a combined horsepower rating of 655 peak horsepower. And that's because in the center of the vehicle, there's an electric battery powering electric motors up front, which give it the extra horsepower. And so this is actually, until this one comes out to the public, the quickest accelerating Corvette to 60 miles an hour and in the quarter mile. It takes a little bit longer for the Z06 to pass it just because you get such great launches. Also with this one, a lot of them come spec'd out with body matched elements here, but you can get the multi-tone as you would on the other Corvettes. We've also got visible carbon fiber wheels and standard carbon ceramic brakes. Again, all-wheel drive. You know it has the LT2 V8 because it has the quad tip exhaust on the outboard side. We've got the low spoiler here, which actually looks really cool with these extra elements there, giving it a little bit of tone. And another great feature about this one is that it's actually got a unique stealth mode, so you can drive it up to a certain slow speed and for just a couple miles without waking your neighbors. And then while you're on the road, you stab the throttle and it'll wake the V8 up and you get all the great V8 noises. You can do most of the engine mods and exhaust mods that you do to this one, you can do to this one, except it's always gonna have a little bit more help from those front electric motors. And next up, we have the Z06, which is actually the second Corvette in the C8 family. In addition to getting a wide body kit with this revised wishbone, which is going to be important later when we get to the ZR1, the unique part about this car, the heart and soul, is this, the LT6. 5.5 liter dual overhead cam motor. It's part of the Gemini family of small block engines. Yes, it's still a small block, but no longer a pushrod. 670 peak horsepower, the most powerful naturally aspirated V8 that Chevrolet has ever made, revving over 8,000 RPM. And it sounds incredible. This one here is in Sebring Orange, which is a stunning color. This is my first time seeing it in person, and it's almost got, there's a lot of metallic flake. It's almost like a pearl. That's how high end it looks. There's no sticker price here on this one, but I'm gonna go ahead and build it in the configurator as best as I can and put that up in the screen. Coming over to check out the wheels, you guys. We've got forged aluminum wheels instead of the carbon fibers, although we do have carbon ceramic brakes. These are the base tires, Michelin Pilot Sport 4S, 275/30 ZR20s up front, and 345/25 ZR21s out back. This one, as you can see, does not have the Z07 package, and it does not have the carbon aero package. So we've just got the carbon flash accents right here. Looking really good, I think. The other thing to note about when you end up with the Z06, the E-Ray, or the ZR1, the packages go in Z's instead of T's, so you can get up to a 3LZ for the interior. That would be the fanciest one. You can see this one's got the orange accents, which is new for this year. Looks like we've got some lovely Alcantara, visible carbon on the wheel. Looking very much like an exotic. This is also a coupe, which has the visible window, heat extraction right there. And under here, you can see there's no Ray logo in the back of this one. When you get to the 5.5 liter motors out back, you're gonna get the quad tip center exit exhaust. You're gonna see this on the Z06 and the ZR1. And that's just another way to differentiate when you see them on the road. That's how you might be able to tell them the difference. And of course, for many, many years, C5 through C7, that was the standard exhaust layout as well. But looking very, very sharp here. Again, nothing new to report on this model. Let's go check out the GOAT. And last but not least, we have the newest C8 generation Corvette, the ZR1. This one fully optioned. We don't have any pricing information yet as I'm recording this, but you can see it's got the ZTK package with the carbon fiber wing. Let's go ahead and walk around and talk about this. Well, also, they've got a cutaway of this as well as the motor. So coming up here to the front, I mean, absolutely the most aggressive Corvette I've ever seen. As you can see with this package, with the carbon fiber, you get this lip right here, which directs air away from the vents. And actually, it's really neat. You can see over there just how all of the air comes in through the front and gets directed diagonally up here after passing through the radiators. Carbon fiber down here as well as the canards. You can see the extra cooling. Oh, this one's been driven. There's some dead bugs. But you've got all the different radiator inlets here, so directing air to the main radiator, and then you've got the side coolers over here. I'm not allowed to get in this one and sit in it, but check this out. The visible carbon fiber wheels in a brand new ZR1 exclusive design. Wow, this looks absolutely amazing. We've got Cup 2R tires, which are basically a track compound. In the front here, 275/30 ZR20s. More carbon fiber right here. Coming around here, we've got extra radiators as well as the ZR1 logo. That's in carbon flash, not carbon fiber, but the wishbone is carbon fiber. Fascinatingly enough, the reason why the Z06 and the E-Ray have this wishbone is because the engineers eventually wanted to put this vent in here, and this one is for braking. So over here, we've got coolers, and we've got air that's going into the air intake. We've got brake cooling here, and then here on the ZR1 coupes, this is not on the convertibles, but on the coupes, you've got this extra vent, and this is a secondary air intake because apparently with the way the air flows over the coupe here, there's a little pocket of cold air, and this should help things, just perform as much as possible. Out here in the back, again, Michelin Pilot Cup 2 tires. The size is 345/25 ZR21s. Absolutely massive carbon ceramic brake rotors. I mean, oh my God. Massive, massive brakes. Coming around here, the return of the split window, the first time since 1963. And you can see it's kind of set up like louvers, so it looks super cool and aggressive. And all of this is extra heat extraction to get heat out of the engine bay. So I guess be very careful when you're washing these because it does not look waterproof at all. More carbon fiber here with the splitters. And of course, all of the 5.5 liter Corvettes have center exit exhaust. Here in carbon flash, little air ducting behind the super wide rear tire. This is what the motor looks like over here. We'll take a look in some other areas. The air ducting, the wishbones, standard carbon fiber removable roof, but painted to match. This looks amazing. This is definitely the most aggressive / exotic Corvette I've ever seen. Coming into the inside here, again, I'm not allowed to get in or sit. And we don't know the pricing on these, but absolutely beautiful. And a huge thank you to Chevrolet for letting me jump behind the dividers here at the LA Auto Show. Very cool of you. And wow, what do you guys think? Is anybody watching this planning to order one? How are you going to spec it? Over at the Cutaway, guys, you can see here how air comes in through that center opening directly to these dual radiators up here. One, you can see how the piping goes down the center tunnel of the vehicle in the middle of the tub. That's where, of course, on the E-Ray, the battery is located. And up here is where the front electric motor axles would be on that E-Ray model. Possibly the Zorro, we don't know. But looking at everything here, stunning to check this out, to see the engineering and the form factor that goes into all of this. But here is what I was talking about with these coupes, with the intake. You can see here, gets directed right in through down here, and that's gonna go to the motor, which you can see as the right over there and into the air intake box here. You can see here looks like the catalytic converters right in here. That's where an oxygen sensor would go. You can see the port right there, out to the active valve exhaust with the center exits. Here you can see the LT7 specific intake, 1,064 horsepower. The largest turbos ever fitted to a production car, the most powerful V8 engine ever in a production car, mass-produced car. And yeah, there's just a nice look at the packaging. There is not much room in here. If you're working on this motor, you are dropping the whole transaxle out back. And then look at these tires. Almost no tread on them, of course, and super, super wide. And then, oh, here are the black versions of those wheels, not the exposed carbon, but also very aggressive, you know, similar in kind of vibe to the, you know, C7 generation wheels that they offered. Coming over here, you guys, we of course have the hand-built LT7. This is going to be made on the same production line as the LT6 in the Z06, but of course this motor is a lot different. It is not just an LT6 with a couple turbochargers, but check these out. The biggest turbochargers ever fitted to a production car made by Borg Warner. You can see the part numbers right there. Unique casting, unique cylinder heads, unique combustion chambers, all designed to get the exhaust gases spooling this up as quickly as possible. Obviously, you guys can see how short the tubing is here. All of this is to help with prevent turbo lag. Oh yeah, here's the sensors for the dual overhead cams here, alternator. We've got a unique air intake that actually has 60% less volume than the one in the LT6, because the idea is that when you're using a turbocharger, you have to compress the air to shove it into the motor, and the less volume that you have to compress, again, means less lag. GM's goal here was to design a turbocharged motor that feels very much like a naturally aspirated V8 that you would find in the Stingray, in the E-Ray, and of course the Z06. This is the first turbocharged motor that has ever been in a Corvette from the factory, making 1,064 horsepower, the most powerful production V8 in history. And another thing to note about the LT7 is that it's actually got two fuel injection systems. You can see here, we got the port fuel injection right up here coming off the intake manifold, and over here, the direct injection that you'd see on all the other motors. What GM said is that they had to use the two injection systems. Well, it does a number of different things, depending on what they're trying to do in terms of emissions and NVH, which is noise, vibration, and harmonics. They can use the port injection to keep things quieter. And then when you're at full wide open throttle, you can use both at once. And this makes it easier than using one giant injector, which would have made it harder to make drivability at low speeds, you know, as relaxing as a daily driver, right? Because the idea behind any Corvette is that you could take these anywhere. You could take them to the mall to run errands. So they wanted to make sure low speed drivability was there. And then here's the Easter egg, the Gemini family, ode to the 60s rockets, to the fact that astronauts used to play a big part in the marketing campaigns for Corvettes. And another quick thing about the LT7, you can see here, they've got a ball bearing in between the two sides of the hot zone and the cool side. And so here it's got oil scavenging here. That's part of the dry subsystem. It's actually it's the 7th stage of the dry subsystem, whereas the LT6 only has 6 stages. So there's the piping here for the oil feeds. Fascinating stuff. And of course, here is where I believe the oil is kept. This here is the tank and the dipstick tube for the oil. So very cool stuff. Absolutely stunning to see this engine in person. You probably won't get to see it this way ever if you own one and it's installed in your vehicle. And here you go. Here's the hand maker of this one. Beautiful. All right, there we have it, folks. Every 2025 C8 Corvette all in one place here at the LA Auto Show 2024. If you're in the area, come on down here. You'll be able to sit in the Z06, in the Stingray, and the E-Ray if you've never done that in person. If you have any questions about the C8 Corvette, head over to CorvetteForum.com. I'm gonna leave a link to a forum thread down below where you can ask questions about this video, but also tons of our members, they own Stingrays, Z06s, E-Rays. They're gonna be ordering ZR1s as soon as they can, but they're really great to talk to Corvette experts. They've experienced just about anything you can with almost every generation or every single generation of Corvette. So it's a great place to learn more about your car, learn different features, you know, tips, tricks, how to fix them, how to maintain them, and all that sort of stuff. But anyway, thank you so much for watching, and we will catch you on the next video. Cheers.